5 things you should think about in your parenting plan include the following. Make sure before negotiating you think about holidays. What do holidays look like for you? Do you want to start new traditions? For example, if you celebrate Christmas, do you want to make sure that you have every Christmas Eve and the other side has every Christmas morning? These are hard things to think about. A more traditional way to do it is alternating years back and forth. So think about the holidays, and are there some that are really important to you? For example, let's say your birthday falls on the 4th of July weekend and you ask, can I just please have every 4th of July weekend or that time frame during the week? And I'll give you Labor Day. If you want Labor Day, that works out too. So we both have a holiday that becomes a tradition. So think through holidays, because that can be a really tough discussion. Second, think about vacations. Be realistic. Are you someone who's going to want the option to have 2-week, 3-week vacation, maybe not even consecutive in your plan, so you always know, I want to make sure that I have a couple weeks vacations, doesn't have to be consecutive throughout the course of the year. And one way to handle that is pick a date that you have to decide when the vacations will be by. For example, you could say, okay, by the 15th of every year, let's decide that next 6-month vacation, and then again the next 6 month. And you can have one person overrule the other one on odd years and the other person overrule the other one on even years. In other words, let's say I chose August 1st through the 7th, and I really wanted that and expressed that to the other parent. If they said, no, I want 1st through 7th, well, maybe we switch. Next year you can have that year, this year it's important to me, that type of thing. Third thing to think about, of many, is extracurricular activities. For example, let's say you really want your child to play football and the other side doesn't. Think about how you're going to resolve that. What do you do on the next level of that? Or maybe something like even just tutoring. You think tutoring is important and the other side doesn't. Different ways to handle that. One way to handle it is say, okay, you really want football or tutoring or whatever the issue may be. That's fine, but it cannot interfere with my time and I'm not going to pay for it. So that's a way of possibly handling it. But sometimes extracurricular can be difficult. Another thing to think about that isn't always used, but is something definitely to think about, is first right of refusal. So what that means is when it's the other parent's time with the child or children, the question becomes, if they're not going to be there, let's say for 8 hours, do you want to make sure that they have to call you first and that you have the right to be with the children if they cannot before they're calling a third party? Something to think about. Even the time frame of that. Some people like as little as 2, but remember, it goes both ways. So if you're not going to be home for a couple of hours, do you want to have to call the other side and say, hey, do you want to have the kids before someone else? Another thing to think about is school district. It's important to pick generally one party's residence to be in the school district. Think carefully about that, and should that change over time potentially, particularly if you have really young kids, that may need to change over time. A big thing to remember about every parenting plan is an ideal one is one that you write up and you decide to put in a drawer and work together through the issues. Not always possible, but when you can co-parent like that, that's ideal. Despite these 5 issues, hopefully you can work through all the issues together in time when you're raising your children.